The saddest moment I had inside Gaza was to be in a refugee camp recently created by the aftermath of the Israeli bombing. People living in the cold, in tents with nothing inside, except a woman running into the tent and coming out and say, I do have one thing I want to show you, and that's a piece of artillery that has Made in the USA stamped on it. And to know that her husband was killed, her children were killed, and she's living in a tent, freezing cold tent, and that my government paid for the destruction of her family and her home.
I was able to, by happenstance, go with Code Pink for the first time for International Women's Day, and that gave me the opportunity to, stay with a girl named Iman, who I became friends with, and I guess it's sort of those human connections that have kept me involved. And how could I not stay involved? If you go there and you see the injustice and speak to people, in Swahdin camp in the northern part of Gaza, how can you not? You really can't turn away from it in good conscience as, a world citizen. You can't.
I was very involved in the anti-apartheid movement when I was living in New York, and this is the exact same thing. There's no difference. It's the same movement. It's the same problem. It's the same inhumanity to man. And I saw Nelson Mandela walk out of jail, as we all did, on that incredible day that I'll never forget. And the walls of apartheid came down. That was an impossible feat. That wasn't supposed to happen. They had a stranglehold on that country. And yet, it came down. And I know that the same thing is the exact same issue that's happening with the Palestinians and with Israel is the crimes that are being committed on the people of Palestine. It's the exact same issue. And I know, too, that we are in that process of bringing it down. And so this trip, this Gaza Freedom March, is a real important part of that process of watching it crumble and just make, some sense to itself again and to rewrite itself.
There is this movie that I watched when I was in a peace group in Kampala, and it was called The Gaza Strip, and it was the most heart-wrenching movie I'd ever seen. And I just remember I was supposed to go out for a friend's birthday afterwards, and I just went to her house and started crying because I was so upset, and it was so heart-wrenching. I have friends who are Palestinian and they're from the West Bank, but just the trouble that they have going home, and they only get to go home every 3 years, and it still takes them 16 hours to get from Jordan into Palestine, even though they are American citizens. And it's just, it's terrible. It's just something that I don't think any human should have to go through.
A Bay Area politician, Tom Lantos, helped push the U.S. into the Iraq War. He wanted a very strong U.S.-Israeli domination of the region. I'm going there to record the suffering that he caused, his legacy.
The people of Gaza were so happy to see us there. They showered us with love and affection. And I, in the beginning, was afraid to say that I was Jewish, and realized that when I did, quote, admit it, that I was showered with even more love and affection. So there is a lot of love in Gaza, and you wonder where it comes from, because when you see what happened and what is happening on an everyday basis and the kind of suffering that they are living through, you wonder how they find it within themselves to still be giving and loving.